say what you will about this movie, okay? But there's absolutely no other Batman film quite like it. The whole kablamo and kapowo, all that stuff, it makes for a Batman film that feels unique, and it's all because of the style. It's safe to say that Batman films, they kind of work best when they're dark, if we're being honest, but this one went with a colorful and whimsical look that makes this Batman stand out among the other dozen films. It's campy, okay? Kinda goofy, sometimes silly, and not only is it aware, but it actually pulls it off, especially compared to a certain somebody we'll get to later. Shark spray, the bomb, heck, the whole evil plan is to dehydrate the UN. Like, that's insane, but it's also kinda lit. You don't have to like it, but you gotta respect how different this one feels. This movie put Batman on the map. This movie plays a huge factor in making Batman the Bat he is today. Michael Keaton is great. Jack Nicholson, he's great too, but in my opinion, the star of this movie is the design, because hot damn does it do wonders. I think The Batman did it great too, but this movie gives us the gold standard of what Gotham City should be, and it's what we've held all other future Gothams to. The whole thing feels dark and Victorian, like a gothic hellhole where light hasn't passed through in years. It's giant in scale and makes the whole city feel like a swamp of criminals, Batman being the one thing that can bring the fight back to the villains. Hell yeah, this movie's great. Danny Elfman is in fact a magical farm-like animal because he, Zimmer Me Timbers, and Johnny Dubs are probably the GOATs. With Batman 1989, Elfman created a score that also played a huge role in setting the tone for Batman in the modern era. The score in that movie is fantastic, and while there are a ton of great things in this movie, I think the score by far takes the cake. Elfman takes the Batman themes from the first film and builds on them, as well as making some really cool themes for both Penguin and Catwoman. I don't think a Batman film has so successfully created memorable themes for villains as well as this one did, except maybe The Batman, but I'm still taking this one. Mix in some Christmas holiday cheer elements, and Elfman is able to make like the perfect just score stew of Batman, villains, Halloween, and of course Christmas. Elfman, you are one cool dude. Like a boy going through puberty for the first time, this is when things start to get hard. But hey, here we go. When this movie came out, Batman was dark and grim. But what about the kids, am I right? They don't get any Batman action? That's not fair. I think while certain aspects of this movie fall flat, one thing it does fairly well is mix the tone of the last two Batman movies with that of the original one. It might sound like an impossible task, but honestly, they kind of pulled it off. Look at Riddler, right? He's goofy at times, but he still has an interesting and dark backstory full of anger, rejection, and eventually murder. You got Jim Carrey throwing dudes out windows for all the adults, and then whatever this is for the kids, I guess. Honestly, though, this movie ain't bad. Some of the sets are kind of cool, I think. The Batman origin, good lord, bro. We've seen this sucker 1,000 times. The OG films, the games, the new films, the spin-offs. I've probably spent more time with this origin than Bruce actually spent with his parents. Just saying. I think if I had to point to one origin, though, that did it best, I'm gonna go with this one because it's so much more than just his parents getting no-scoped. It goes into his childhood, it shows us him as a kid, and it sets up his arc perfect for the next 3 films. Again, there's a ton in this movie that I love. It's a fantastic film, but for me personally, I really like the origin. It's actually a part of the story instead of just happening because it's Batman and we have to see it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. You're smart, I knew it. You're probably thinking, I'm gonna be basic, right? And I'm gonna say the Joker, huh? You expect that little of me? Come on, I have 6,000 subscribers. I'm gonna talk about something deep. The real best part of the movie, the Joker. Yeah, it's no surprise, but the Joker in this film is not only one of the best villains in a comic book movie, but one of the best villains probably of all time across all mediums. Everything from the acting, the writing, it's all perfect, and I could watch this movie 1,000 times because of the Joker and the way he affects the plot around him. He is fantastic, but you already know that. Can we talk about the scope and scale in this film? Good lord, dude, it's crazy. The stakes in this film are higher than a freaking Snoop Dogg cow, and that's pretty high, I must say. With some Batman movies, the villains kind of just want to cause trouble, but if Batman fails in this one, they got a whole freaking nuke that's gonna go off in this city. Bane from the start shows that Batman is just a little boy who's peeing his pants, he poops his diaper, so that's scary. Batman has to defeat the unbeatable. The scope of this movie and stakes are bigger than any other Batman movie we've ever seen. It feels more like a Marvel movie in that sense, and I mean that in a good way. It's nice having a movie where we have to see Batman pull off the impossible, and it's damn entertaining watching him try. Let's see. The warehouse scene is cool. It's a pretty cool fight. Live action Deathstroke. Granted, he looks kind of silly, but I mean, better than nothing, right? Right? The fact that this movie exists is freaking crazy. Everyone thought the Lego movie was just some cash-in TV movie, but it is actually probably one of the best animated movies that have come out over the last 10 years. We then got the Lego Batman movie, and honestly, I'm just so happy it exists, because until it came out, it looked like all the future Batman movies we were going to have were just going to be the same dark and gritty thing. But this movie, it gave us a second to just take a step back and just laugh at all the absurdities of Batman. And I think that's a really fun time. Love Batman in this movie and his relationship with Babs, Robin, and Joker. It's a great commentary on Batman and just the whole genre around him. I really like it. The Batman is an awesome movie, and there are a ton of things I could have chosen for this, but the cinematography is king. The cinematography in this movie is the best we've gotten in any Batman movie, and that's saying a lot, because the competition's fierce. You have incredible shots, no doubt, but the lighting and just color schemes we get are really what sets it apart. For those who don't know, the cinematographer in this is Greg Fraser, the same man who gave us some of those gorgeous, just beautiful shots from Dune, and he even did Star Wars Rogue One. The movie is awesome, yeah, no duh, but visually, I think it's the best Batman movie we've ever gotten because of the cinematography. Visually, the Batman is about to get wifed up because damn, you looking good.